Yeah, students, we are again moving forward with Gauss theorem in electrostatics. So there is a addition written here with red ink. Remember this definition. Intensity of electric field is the measure of the number of electric field lines penetrating through unit area. So this is also intensity of electric field. We have so many definitions for intensity of electric field. Force acting per unit charge is also intensity of electric field. And this is also electric field intensity. What is this? Number of electric field lines penetrating through an area. Which area? Unit area. Is also called as intensity of electric field. There is another name also given to this this term, that is flux density. So today onwards, remember, flux density is also intensity of electric field only. What is that? The total number of electric field lines in an electric field penetrating through unit area is called flux density. So flux density is numerically equal to intensity of electric field only. Remember that, please. Now I am going to explain you expression for electric flux. Electric flux, everybody knows. Electric flux is the total number of electric field lines penetrating through a big area. Is called electric flux. Also electric flux, expression for electric flux you have studied, that is phi E is equal to integral E dot ds for a closed surface. Am I correct? Yeah. So here we are going to derive an expression for electric flux. Here we are considering two surfaces. First, the surface is kept like this in a straight manner. Now it is tilted. This surface is kept in the electric field. See, the electric field lines are parallel because this surface is kept in a uniform electric field. See, surface vector. That also everybody knows surface vector is a normal placed on the surface. In this case, the angle between the intensity of electric field and the surface vector theta is equal to 0. So maximum lines can pass through it. Am I correct? See the other case. When the surface is kept tilted so that the field lines are as it is acting the same direction, but the normal is tilted through an angle theta with the field. Here theta is not equal to 0. In this case, theta is equal to 0. Understand? This is electric field. Electric field is a vector quantity. Everybody knows electric field is a vector quantity. Any vector quantity can be resolved into two components. In this case, as the electric field is acting on this direction and the ds is along this direction, we have to understand that what is the electric field intensity in the direction of ds. ds means normal placed on the surface or along the surface vector. So along the surface vector, the intensity of electric field, to obtain that, we have to see that electric field is a vector quantity that can be resolved into two components. The component of the electric field along ds is E cos theta. And one more thing, you know, intensity of electric field is the number of electric field lines passing through unit area. Hence, the number of electric field lines passing through unit area in the direction of ds is E cos theta. Therefore, along the direction of the normal, the flux acting, the electric flux acting, d phi, means it is a small area, that is for d phi it is taken. d phi is equal to E ds cos theta. So E is a vector quantity, D is a vector, ds is a vector quantity. So this is just like we have already studied A, B cos theta. When this is A and this is B and this is cos theta, we can write A dot B. In the same way, d phi E is equal to E dot ds. For a small area, the flux, electric flux actually you must remember one more thing. Electric flux is the total number of electric field lines penetrating through an area along the normal. Actually that normal I missed to speak earlier. So you remember, along the normal what is called ds, or the direction of the surface vector, the total flux through this small area ds is given by d phi is equal to E ds cos theta. That is equal to E dot ds. So if it is a very big area, the total flux passing through a very big area means it is a covered area, a closed surface area inside which a charge is kept, and through the whole area the lines of force will pass. Then the total flux is equal to integral E dot ds. If it is not a closed surface, this circle can be avoided. If it is not a closed surface, we can simply integral E dot ds we will write. If it is a closed surface inside which if a charge is placed, due to the charge electric field is created within the closed surface, then the total number of lines of force passing through the closed surface is given by phi is equal to integral E dot ds for a closed surface. So this is equal to E a cos theta, because the total area, big area means A is, that is why E a cos theta we can write, or we can write in place of A, if you write yes, that is equal to E cos theta. Next we are going to explain you Gauss theorem. We just come to Gauss theorem now only, and before till now we were just preparing to enter into this subject what is called the Gauss theorem. So we have explained what is called a surface vector, then electric flux, then definition of that, everything has been settled. Now it is Gauss theorem in electrostatics, very important. Remember the definition also. According to Gauss theorem in electrostatics, the total electric flux, that is phi E, not written here, no problem. The total electric flux through a closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 times the charge enclosed by the closed surface. So in electrostatics, this closed surface enclosing a charge is called Gaussian surface. Another term you are getting, what is that? Gaussian surface. What is Gaussian surface? Gaussian surface is a surface that is enclosing a charge at the center of that. Actually, Gaussian surface has no shape. It is quite imaginary. We cannot point your finger and show it, point anybody's finger and show that this is Gaussian surface. We can't do that. This is quite imaginary. And also think that here I am speaking about sphere and all, I will speak, but Gaussian surface has no shape at all, and also it is totally and completely imaginary. Okay. Mathematically, Gauss theorem can be written as surface integral of the electric field. This term is read as surface integral of the electric field is equal to Q by epsilon 0. In a medium other than error vacuum, this is for error vacuum, we can write E dot ds is equal to Q by epsilon 0. Other than error vacuum, we are placing the charged particle and the closed surface in a medium other than error vacuum. Then surface integral E dot ds is equal to Q divided by epsilon 0 epsilon r. Epsilon r is also called as relative permittivity. Am I correct? These are in place of epsilon r, we can write K also, no problem. Yes. Now consider a point charge. Now I am going to explain you to derive or the proof of, that means the proof of Gauss theorem. Consider a point charge Q at a point. Consider a point charge Q at a point. Say this one. Consider a point charge Q is placed in the center of a sphere. This sphere has radius r. We wish to derive the total electric flux through this surface when this charged particle is enclosed by this surface. This surface is spherical surface, for convenience we are taking the surface as spherical in shape. Right? This charge will produce a field around it, and the field lines are emerging out of this charged particle is penetrating through this closed surface. We wish to calculate the total flux through this closed surface enclosing this charge plus Q. This surface has a radius r. We have to prove that we wish to derive the total flux through this spherical surface is equal to q by epsilon 0. We have to prove that. In this case, suppose the radius of the Gaussian surface is r. It is shown here. Consider a small area ds. What is called r? On the surface of the sphere, we are taking a small area ds. What is ds? Surface vector. Surface vector is nothing but, once again I speak, it is a small area with a normal placed on it. The direction of the normal will show the direction of the surface vector. See, if it is a charge, this is the intensity of field or the field line. The direction of the field line is same as the intensity of electric field. In this case, you see a very interesting thing that this intensity direction, electric field intensity direction and the surface vector are parallel to each other. Therefore, the angle between these two quantities is equal to 0. Alright, this is also given there. Angle between E dot E and ds. Also, the intensity of electric field at every point on the surface is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q by r square. It is a constant. Why that? Because this is a spherical surface and this is a charge. Every point on this sphere is at the same distance of this charged particle. So, for a charged particle at a distance r away from that, smaller away from that, the intensity of electric field is given by E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into q by r square. It is a constant. Why it is a constant? Only magnitude. Only magnitude. But the direction may be different. The magnitude of the intensity of electric field at every point on this spherical surface, what you call Gaussian surface, always remains a constant. That is given by what? E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into q by r square. This has already been said in the class long ago. Yeah. Now, a small electric flux. Now we have to calculate the small electric flux through this small area. Now, the small electric flux through a small area, a small surface area ds, on the surface of this Gaussian surface, we are considering a small area. This small area is shown here. Through this small area, the flux is also very small. That flux is equal to d phi E. D phi is equal to E dot ds. Already we know the general expression for flux, electric flux is equal to E dot ds. That is equal to E ds cos theta. Right? That is d phi is equal to E ds cos theta. That is equal to simply E ds. Vector sign has been removed. Why that? Because in this case, theta is equal to 0. Therefore, cos theta is equal to 1. Therefore, d phi is equal to E ds. Am I correct? Now we have to calculate the flux of the entire Gaussian surface. The total spherical surface through which the total flux lines are passing through is to be calculated. The electric flux through the entire Gaussian surface, the closed surface enclosing the charge q, is given by phi. This is for a small area. This is for the entire surface. So this is called a total flux is equal to surface integral of the electric field. Surface integral of the electric field means surface integral of the electric field over a closed surface. Very clear? Surface integral of the electric field over a closed surface. That is phi is equal to surface integral of the electric field. This is equal to E into surface integral ds. E is equal to a constant. Therefore, it is taken outside. Am I correct? That is, this is equal to E into 4 pi r square. Why 4 pi r square? The surface area ds. This surface is consisting of large number of small values ds. All the ds when summed up, then we will get 4 pi r square. Am I correct? Okay. It is being a sphere, the surface area is equal to 4 pi r square. Now, the value of E, already you know, that is E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon q by r square, already here. Therefore, phi E is equal to, in place of E, we are writing 4 pi epsilon 0 into q by r square into area of the spherical surface, 4 pi r square and r square cancelled, 4 pi cancelled. What remains is q is equal to, phi is equal to q by epsilon 0. Hence, the total electric flux over a closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 times the charge enclosed by the surface. This is called Gauss theorem.